Hello, welcome to the program Political Viewpoint on ASO Television. My name is Topsy Jimba, your host, and I urge you to be with me on this program this evening. Political Viewpoint is a program that comes to you 3 times in a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at about this time, where we look into national issues, we x-ray them. The program provides me that opportunity as well to invite personalities to speak to us on national issues. They know how to speak best. Today, I want to assure you that you'll be listening to most important discussion, because I have knowledgeable people who are sitting around me to tell me more about what they have to offer for those who are watching us right now. This program will be streaming live on Facebook. At the point, you will never be watching us on YouTube, so you have nothing to lose. You'll be talking about Freedom of Information Act. I remember at a particular point in time, this matter became so serious that most ministries, agencies do not disclose how much they get and how much they spend. And for that reason, they don't really want the media to know basically what they have to offer, and that created a lot of issues. And then we have a lot of corruption going on in various ministries and agencies. But of course, the government felt it was important to come up with this freedom of information, where a journalist can decide to seek for information very unhindered. Today, we do not know whether or not people are conscious about it, and that's why a national workshop will be organized for Nigerians to come to terms with reality, and so that they get to know basically that indeed what is being offered to them monthly time need to be disclosed when journalists approach them for information. And that's why these gentlemen are here to speak with us. I have with me in the studio those who are coming from Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative, in the person of Dr. Akubo Augustine. He is the secretary for the Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative. It's a pleasure having you on our program, Dr. Augustine Akubo.
Thank you for having me on your program.
It's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Sitting beside me, I have the National Director of Logistics and Mobilization, the same Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative, in the person of Honorable Meyaki Daniel. It's a pleasure having you on this program.
Thank you very much.
Let me feel you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, these are the most important persons that will be coming to speak with us. After a certain segment of time, another set of persons will be coming in, another person to speak will be coming in to still tell us more how he knows best concerning this Rebirth Media Liberation and Development Initiative. Without taking much of your time, let me just go straight to asking Dr. Akubo Augustine. Having Rebirth means something actually really coming up. We have had something different, and so we need to reconcentrate ourselves and bringing ourselves more to reality. So what do you mean by having Rebirth in the Rebirth of Media Liberation and Development Initiative?
Thank you very much for that question. Nigeria is abundantly blessed, naturally, materially, and with abundance of human resources that can compete with every edge of excellence across the globe. But here is a country where a great proportion of the population is living below poverty line. And the reason is not far from the fact that corruption is that virus that has crept into the fabrics of our society, that has impinged on the development and growth of our country. So hence the need to come up with a rebirth, the need for a national rebirth, the need for us to re-engineer our body politic, to do the right thing and become that great country of our dream, where peace, where justice, where unity shall reign with progress, national growth and development. That is the rationale behind the NGO, Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative, RMDI.
All right. Honorable Meyaki Daniel, you are the National Director of Logistics and Mobilization. To what extent can you concur with this opinion preferred by Dr. Akubo Augustine when we talk about the rebirth?
Yes, like
towards information gathering.
Like the way you said it, information is key. Without information, I don't think you will be knowledgeable of what is happening. Like the way you mentioned the issue of corruption. Today, after this workshop, you can walk down to any of the ministry or agency and ask for one or two things he wants to know about the ministry. who wants to know about the agency, the information will be there for you. So that's why it's good for, I'm calling the whole Nigeria, the politician, the business people, let's come together and work as a team. With this workshop, I know 100% we will be civilized, and we will be civilized based on this workshop, and our eyes will be open, and we will be close to the government, because the government, we're supposed to be close to our government, but because of this lack of information, a lot of us in the society, we don't know what is happening in the society. But with this workshop now, I'm telling you, a lot of people will know that this is what is happening in the society, and this is what is happening in the ministry, this is what is happening in the agency, and it will reduce the level of corruption.
It's all right. Akubo, what brought about this initiative? Was it like you discovered that what is expected to be done has not been done, and so we need to really create this awareness in the minds of Nigerians, including the media?
Yes, this initiative regarding the national upcoming workshop. Yes. Freedom of information is a fundamental human rights of citizens of the country. Freedom of information gives the right of access to information and public records by individuals from public institutions and entities, or individuals, whether in written form or otherwise, in such a way that those individuals will have access to them, and with the core values in mind, core values of our accountability, the core values of transparency, the core value of open government. Let government be open in their business of delivery of goods and services to the people, so as to give opportunity for participatory governance, the citizens participating in government, and at the same time having the right, to ask for account of stewardship from the political leadership. You can see that there will be a form of balanced governance between the governed and those that are leading in political leadership.
You are a consultant to the House Committee on Information.
Yes.
So to what extent can you say the oversight people conduct in those ministries you oversight, the leaders who man these ministries are really doing enough and providing sufficient information and documents, for access to be used by media whenever they need them?
Thank you very much. Actually, this law came into force as far back as 2011.
Yes.
As an act of parliament of May 28, 2011. 13 years after the promulgation or enactment of this law, there has been very low knowledge of this law, very low level of acceptability of this law, very low level of implementation of this law by public institutions. So the Rebel for Media Liberation and Development Initiative now came up with this concept to collaborate with the House of Representatives Committee on Freedom of Information, led by Right Honorable Saidu Yusuf Miga and his team, to come up with a national workshop on freedom of information and open government, and as well present a book in this regard, a handbook in this regard, that will sensitize Nigerians, not only the media sector, individuals, to know that they have the right of access to public records, to know how they are governed, to know the resources that are being used for them. How is it being used in the right way to ensure even development of the society? So that is the main rationale for the concept of conceptualization of this forthcoming workshop from 24th to 25th of September 2024 at Abuja Continental Hotel. So it is being organized for different categories of government leaders, including ministers, permanent secretaries, directors generals of parastatals and agencies and departments of government, because the public sector, of course, is that sector that is owned, controlled by government, and provide basic services to the people. Now they have to be made accountable to the people they serve. So as part of the current renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are coming up with this workshop to say that yes, let us advance and concretize democratic ethos. So this workshop is going to open the eyes of Nigerians. And section 13 of that law stipulates that public institutions should provide appropriate and adequate training for the public officials. So 13 years after that, this low ebb of the knowledge and implementation has been like a form of stagnancy of a law that is supposed to be enforced to mitigate corruption and rather entrench accountability and transparency in our society. This is the main rationale behind the conceptualization of the workshop about to be held as a collaborative effort between the National Assembly Committee, House of Rep Committee on Freedom of Information, and the Rebel for Media Liberation and Development Initiative. Okay. Honorable Meyeki Daniel, you are the National Director of Logistics and Modernization.
Yes.
Who are these people are really expecting to be in attendance for this wonderful workshop you intend to organize in Abuja?
Yeah, the expected guests we are expecting for this workshop, we are expecting the permanent secretary, the DGs, the executive secretaries.
Permanent of ministries or a particular ministry?
No, permanent of ministries from states, from federal to the state level.
Okay.
That's the people we are expecting.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you intend to use them at that particular day, for instance? You are inviting them just like Jamboree or what?
Yeah, we are inviting them for a workshop.
Okay.
For them to know the reason of this freedom of information. Because some of the people, let's say, even me, because I know these things, but a lot of people doesn't know it. So because I know it, and I want the whole people to know it, I want Nigeria to know it, and also I want the media is aware of this. But the media alone, they cannot do all these things. But with us, the NGO, which we are partnering with the House Committee on Information, we can do it. And we can sensitize all the expected guests we are expecting, so that by the time when the journalist is approaching them, they know that this is what the journalist is expecting from them, so that there will be no any issues concerned to that.
Are you of the opinion, now that we are considering having a national workshop
Yes.
For this freedom of information, are you of the opinion that since it came into being as an act, there has been lack of sufficient implementation, and that's why you felt as people who are concerned about this country, you need to call people who are directly involved so that they meet face to face with the organizers and then telling them that media needs this particular records whenever they go asking for. Is that the reason why you felt it is important, having understood to a very large extent that there has been poor implementation of that particular Freedom of Information Act?
I can't tell you that there's a poor implementation, but we just want to bridge the gap between the government and the media.
Okay.
That's why we are coming to.
But of course, you must have noticed a deficiency elsewhere, or is it continuous creating an awareness that you feel it should be done? That's what it is?
Yes, after this workshop, I believe the government and us again, we're going to continue telling the people there's a freedom of information.
Yeah.
We need to do this, we need to do that. By then, the people will be informed.
Okay.
So once the people is informed.
Okay. Now, we are already in September.
Yes.
Today is almost like 5th or whatever. To what extent have you reached out to those people you intend to?
Yes,
because we are very much concerned. We are a media organization. If you successfully organize the national workshop, it will be beneficial not just for any other media outfit, but including Aso Radio Television.
Thank you very much. We have reached out to all the organizations through letters, social media, radio, jingles, television. So we are trying our best.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
We even have a YouTube to this very program that we're doing now.
Yeah.
You can watch us via YouTube.
Yeah.
So we are telling people that by the special grace of God, on that day, there will be no failure.
That's good. Do you subscribe to what he's explaining?
Exactly.
Because you are the secretary.
Yes, I totally subscribe to what he has told you. And we have done a lot to mobilize the people. Like he said, it is a workshop. And a workshop is intended to be
an intensive training program for the stakeholders that are coming. So it's going to be a cross-breeding of knowledge, of opinion, of ideas on how to entrench open governance in Nigeria. That is why the stakeholders and professionals that are coming, including the Attorney General of the Federation, will be delivering a keynote lecture at that event. From the police, the Inspector General of Police will be there. The leaders of these public institutions will be there. The science and technology sector, people like Professor Onyenekwe will be there to talk about how journalists also, scientists manage information. So we're going to, and then the NUJ president is also expected to be there. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency is expected to be there. So you can see that we are bringing a cross multifaceted strata of stakeholders to converge on that day to like cross-fertilize ideas and brood knowledge on how to, advance open governance in our society. Thank you very much.
So I asked Honorable Mayor Daniel,
yes,
that when somebody calls some other persons to gather on a particular matter,
yes,
he has something to offer.
yes,
In the case of coming up with this initiative,
yes,
that you intend to hold a national workshop on freedom of information. In the course of analyzing, seeing how this country is going, has there been any shortfall when journalists intend to get information to use and they don't seem to get, and you feel there must be a rebuff?
yes, the purveyors and conveyors of information interchange and exchange in any society are journalists, of course, who are described as members of the fourth estate of the realm. We have the executive arm of government, we have the legislative arm of government, and the judiciary. The fourth estate, of course, are the journalists, and they are called social engineers because they are agenda setters.
Yeah.
In playing that role, there have been cogs in the wheel of easy or unfettered access to information. But with this, we are now going to deliberate on the rights of media practitioners. Their right to have access to the right information and public records, especially from the custody of public officials who are the managers of public administration, who are the managers of public resources. So we're going to discuss this. What are their rights? If there are discrepancies or if there are grievances, how are they supposed to be redressed in accordance with this law? So these are the things we're coming to. These are the issues, topical issues that are going to be discussed at this workshop. And then we look at gray matters of national economic growth and development. And of course, we look at classified issues that are germane to our defense and national security and interest. So it's a whole bulk of a knowledge-based event. It's not just a jamboree.
Okay.
A knowledge-based event where experts in various fields are coming to discuss on how to ensure that we move from this level of stagnation and accelerated immobilism to a stage where we will advance open government in our society, where the citizens will have a participatory role in how they are governed, to bring about justice, equitable development of the society.
So why the choice of this particular workshop at this time, having understood to a very large extent that this particular act came into being since 2011?
Yes.
Why now? Is it coincidentally that you are talking about it bad because we have a renewal?
Well, it is not coincidental. It is deliberately planned and systematically orchestrated that now is the right time. Now is the right time for us to ensure that this law is fully implemented in our country. And not only that, we have decided to start it now that we are about celebrating our anniversary as our anniversary of our independence. We need to grow from where we are.
Yeah.
where we are coming from, where we have been, have not been justifiably satisfactory enough. So to move forward, of course, we need a political leadership that is open, that is transparent and accountable to the people. So we feel that after this program is done in Abuja, we will cascade it to the 36 states of the Federation. Because when you talk about public institutions, there are over 1,300 plus public institutions in Nigeria. That is the gamut of the numerical strength of participation that we are looking at. Then we now cascade to the states of the Federation, including the local governments. They are also public institutions. They are public institutions. The governments, their institutions, and their entities all are encompassed or encapsulated in what we call the public sector of the economy. So this is the right time.
Okay.
In line with the renewed hope agenda. Yes, thank you.
All right. Honorable Meji Daniel.
Yes.
You are the National Director of Logistics and Mobilization. In rough term, how many people do you think you are likely going to have on that particular day?
Yes.
Roughly.
Roughly, we're expecting, let's say, about 1,000 people.
Okay.
That's what we're expecting.
1,000.
Yes.
Are they going to be grouped according to where they're coming from, so that they will? Of course, if you have this kind of national workshop, there must be resource persons that will be giving them speeches on what is expected to be done by the time they get back home.
Like my secretary here, he mentioned a name, yes, which I believe we have a lot of people, even the Minister of Justice,
yes,
will be there to deliver the note. So, and we are not just coming together then and say according to their level or according to what their class. No, workshop is for everybody. Once you come, we tell you what information is about, what the freedom of information is all about. Once we are done, you go back to where you are coming from.
Okay. So what will you say, have you scored a significant margin right from the time it got started towards ending it, like now September is at hand? Will you say you have already done a lot to really carry out this particular
Yes,
initiative?
we have done a lot, because like the way I was saying before, we're everywhere in the media, newspaper, social media, YouTube, radio station, television. So from now to 24th, I believe we are going to achieve what
we went from media to media.
Yes, yes, yes. As we are leaving this place, by the special grace of God, next week we are in AIT.
Okay.
So I believe with that we will sensitize people and people will be fully aware.
Okay. Let me find out from Dr. Akubo Augustine, Secretary, the BAF for Media Liberation and Development Initiative. From the time the act came into being to where we are, has there been any impressive outing to get information or classified information from this ministry for media to use? Have you noticed any change? And if you have noticed any change, has there been any reduction in corruption, where it has reduced because we are exposing what is meant for ministries and they're really telling the truth, and what that money is meant for, they are actually using it in the way it should? From 2011 to where we are, has there been any improvement?
Let me statistically mention a statistical fact from the records.
Yeah.
Transparency International is a well-known multinational quasi-non-governmental organization.
I have to be brief because we'll soon go on.
It's okay.
Yeah. And maybe you may come back
on
to say
on the Corruption Perception Index of Nigeria, out of 180 countries, Nigeria was ranked 144. Is that a good development?
Not at all.
Not at all. That is why we are here, to organize this program to ensure that government is open. The people know how they are governed, how their resources are managed. Thank you.
Okay.
So it has not been impressive. If as of 2018, our ranking was 144 by Transparency International, it means we have not done well.
Honestly.
And it's not impressive at all.
Honestly.
We need to grow and develop
Okay.
on the planks and crux of open governance.
All right. We shall be taking a break, but before that happens, let me just give a parting shot to Honorable Mayor Daniel as the National Director of Logistics and Mobilization, RMDI. Are you satisfied with the way the country is?
Let me say I'm 99% satisfied. I'm satisfied.
Including the corruption that we're talking about? Because
while I said I'm satisfied, I don't want to say Nigeria is 100% corrupt, the way people say it, or the way international community normally say it, because I'm a Nigerian and I'll always be a Nigerian. So as long as I'm concerned, Nigeria is not corrupt.
Okay. Well, you're satisfied with the way things are going?
I am satisfied.
Okay. I want to appreciate you for really coming to talk to us as the National Director, Logistics and Mobilization. Well, we shall take a break. By the time we return, we shall go into further discussion on this particular most important topic, where we have these resource persons telling us on the importance of organizing a national workshop concerning freedom of information that is in the country, that has been there since 2011 to where we are. Whether we are succeeding or not, with the explanation, you will not draw a curtain based on the way we have understood the discussion. We'll take a break and shall come back. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Here is an important announcement. Public institutions in Nigeria are hereby invited to participate in training workshop on the implementation of the Freedom of Information Act by ministries, agencies, and extra-ministerial departments. Theme: Freedom of Information and the Burden of Access for National Economic Development, the Legislative Renewed Hope Agenda. Sub-themes: Developing a national culture of freedom of information through the implementation of the access to information and public records in Nigeria. This training is organized by Committee of Freedom of Information, House of Representatives, National Assembly Abuja, in collaboration with Rebirth of Media Liberation and Development Initiative, RMDI. Phases of the training workshop with dates: National Workshop, Abuja, between July to September 2024. Geopolitical workshops for the states, October to December 2024. The workshop shall also feature presentation of Freedom of Information Act, Gateway to Open Government and Accountability in Nigeria. Target participants are Permanent Secretary of Federal Ministries and Chief Executives of Parastatals, top management and FOI desk officers/committee members. Others are Commissioners of Justices/Attorney General, Permanent Secretaries of States, Directors of Administration and top management of related departments. Please note, while the program planning and execution is ongoing, stakeholders shall be updated on any change in timing and venue of events. Honorable Yusuf Saidu Miga, Chairman, House Committee on Freedom of Information, the House of Representatives, National Assembly Abuja, and Engineer Bala Musa, National Chairman, Rebirth and Media Liberation and Development Initiative, RMDI, announcers. Here is an important announcement. Public institutions in Nigeria are hereby invited to participate in training workshop on the implementation of the Freedom of Information Act by ministries, agencies, and extra-ministerial departments. Theme: Freedom of Information and the Burden of Access for National Economic Development, the Legislative Renewed Hope Agenda. Sub-themes: Developing a national culture of freedom of information through the implementation of the access to information and public records in Nigeria. This training is organized by Committee of Freedom of Information, House of Representatives, National Assembly Abuja, in collaboration with Rebirth of Media Liberation and Development Initiative, RMDI. Phases of the training workshop with dates: National Workshop, Abuja, between July to September 2024. Geopolitical workshops for the states, October to December 2024. The workshop shall also feature presentation of Freedom of Information Act, Gateway to Open Government and Accountability in Nigeria. Target participants are Permanent Secretary of Federal Ministries and Chief Executives of Parastatals, top management and FOI desk officers/committee members. Others are Commissioners of Justices/Attorney General, Permanent Secretaries of States, Directors of Administration and top management of related departments. Please note, while the program planning and execution is ongoing, stakeholders shall be updated on any change in timing and venue of events. Honorable Yusuf Saidu Miga, Chairman, House Committee on Freedom of Information, the House of Representatives, National Assembly Abuja, and Engineer Bala Musa, National Chairman, Rebirth and...
Welcome back. It's Political Viewpoint on ASO Television. Still continue on the discussion on national workshop being organized by the Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative, organized by well-known Nigerians who are here right now discussing on issues that are quite very relevant on this workshop that's coming up in this month. Of course, I had Honorable Meyaki Daniel, who is the National Director of Logistics and Mobilization for RMIDI. He has just stepped out with me in the studio to continue on the discussion alongside Dr. Akubo Augustine is Engineer Bala Musa, who is National Chairman, the Bar for Media Liberation and Development Initiative. It's a pleasure having you.
It's my pleasure too.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, our viewers.
Yeah, what idea do you have with this national workshop that is coming up?
We start the project like a play. When we look around, we try to bring something, our NGO tried to bring something that would be attractive to the Nigerian government. And apart from that, it was not our first project that we have embarked on. We have embarked on writing so many books on people that have the personality in this country. So we said that this is the time now for us to expand our awarenesses by bringing what is right and what is good to the government. And well, by the time we look around, we say that, okay, let us come with the freedom of information that has been abandoned, despite the fact that it was an act since 2011, and the effective is not much. So we went to the National Assembly to meet with the National Chairman of the Freedom of Information Committee, which is Honorable Yusuf Mega, and he gave us the support that yes, we came with a good idea. So on it, he said, what is the process? And we give all the procedures, what we need to do for the project to commence. And by the time we came in, the awareness was open to them. And we started, I think it has been more than 4 months now that we have embarking on this project. Before we are coming on media for the publicity, and we should have through all our adverts and everywhere on social media and YouTube and everything. And this is one of the copy of the book that was written and authored by the Honorable Jega.
Okay, let me see the book. Okay, this is the book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because we are very much interested as an organization, media organization, as ASO Radio and television. It concerns us. So whatever achievement you are able to make as a result of this national workshop you intend to organize, whatever turns out to be, equally affects us as a media organization. So we really wish you a very good success.
Thank you.
I have no knowledge that you have come up with a book like the way it is. Honestly, it's a big congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We have over about 2,000 copies of this book available for on 24th and 25th September
that's very
at
good.
Abuja Intercontinental Hotel.
Oh, that's good. That's quite very interesting. So you listened to what the national chairman rebuffed for Media Liberation and Development,
yes,
Dr. Akubo Augustine.
Yes.
So just a summary, you intend to do, what brought about this idea and what you have so far achieved as a result of that?
Yes, I earlier mentioned what Transparency International, in their own opinion, said about Nigeria. And I have also mentioned earlier that Nigeria, of course, is one of the most blessed countries on planet Earth. But from where we are coming from, with our various national development goals, our national development plans, and where we have been and where we are supposed to be, we look at it and we look at the analysis of what experts have also said, you know, numerically, analytically, statistically, and what appears to be factual. For instance, the former executive director of the United Nations Office on Drug and Crimes, Maria Costa, at an anti-corruption event in Abuja, said that the hundreds of billions of looted from funds from the coffers of Nigerian treasury, if tied end to end in dollar bills, can be stretched from planet Earth to the moon, to and fro 75 times. and yet a great proportion of the populace are not empowered economically. And what is development? Development is all about human development index, the ability to have savings and incomes, the ability to live life to the fullest, the ability to have access to good health, basic necessities that is required for good living or living standard, the need for improved standard of living of the citizenry. Where did we get it wrong? We all got it wrong on the planks of this virus endemic enemy called corruption. How do we get it right? Do we just get it right by the force of anti-graft agencies alone? No. We are very, elated to have the Nigerian government join the rest of the world to say, yes, let us also be part of the open government that is trailing and trending across the globe, as propounded by the former president of the USA, Barack Obama, in 2011. And thank God this law came barely after then, Freedom of Information Act, which has given citizens that right, especially the mass media, journalists, who are supposed to be the custodians, the agenda setters, the social engineers of between the people that are led and those our political leaders. Yet there is even little level of knowledge, even among journalists, the media practitioners generally, and the people, not just the people, even the public institutions. The public institutions, the leaders of the public institutions do not also know, some of them do not even know about the existence of this law. And of course, ignorance cannot be an excuse in law. Therefore, we feel that in this renewed hope agenda led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there is the need to rejuvenate that dream, that vision of a greater country that we're supposed to be, a great country that we're supposed to be among the committee of nations. Therefore, what do we have to do? Those core values of open assets. What is the magnitude of assets of government? How much does the public know? And how much does the public know that they have even the right of access to know those things? And then the political leaders, can we hold them accountable? The citizens do not really know. Individuals do not even know that they have that right. So rebate with the objective or aim of advocating, campaigning, and sensitizing the populace of these their rights. Now is now trying to take opportunity or advantage, good advantage of the knowledge of this law, which is domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Justice, and of course enacted by the National Assembly, with a committee which is supposed to play an oversight role of ensuring that this law is implemented. That is the House of Representatives Committee on Freedom of Information, to partner with the NGO, the Rebate for Media Liberation, as the word entails, media.
Yeah.
It's about media.
It's about
so that is why he showed you this book, this book, because one of the objects is to publish books and publish magazines, go into every organ of media to ensure that this open government principle is promoted in the country. And that's why we have come up with this first book on Freedom of Information Act, titled Gateway to Open Government and Accountability in Public Institutions in Nigeria, authored by Right Honorable Said Yusuf Miga, and produced by our NGO. Like he said, thousands of these books are ready for wide distribution to the Nigerian.
So the NGO is the birth for, that's your NGO? That's the
Yes,
name.
that's the name of the
Okay,
agency.
the Bank of Media.
And Development
Innovation
Initiative, you know, that came up with this book.
Okay.
And what we want to do is to ensure that this book is translated in major Nigerian languages. And that's why we are calling on public-spirited individuals, multinational corporations and NGOs, donor agencies to come to the aid of our non-profit making NGO to ensure mass production of these books in the various Nigerian languages, so as to get to a good numerical, you know, magnitude or strength of the heterogeneous audience of the country, you know, for wide understanding of the, you know, availability, applicability, and knowledge base of this freedom of information law. Thank you.
Okay. That's quite very interesting. Gateway to open government and accountability in public institutions in Nigeria.
Yes.
Could that have been the reason why media or journalists have not been able to have access to these documents that are quite very revealing for certain things that happen within the ministries, departments, as agencies? Is it because we don't have a sufficient media outfit creating awareness, sensitizing people on what we should do as a people, particularly when journalists or a journalist comes and asks for information, he gets it immediately? Is that the reason why we don't get such information required till today?
Of course. If I can give you a typical example, look at what is happening in NNPC today. No any journalist can give account of, amount of crude oil that have been produced in a day. Journalists cannot access to the information. Even some auditor, they cannot even access to the information because the awareness of freedom of information was not getting to them. And even though he's getting to them, because of the Nigerian policy, nobody can achieve anything. By the time this awareness is open to everybody and the workshop is carrying out, not any journalist, not any NGO or any organization can work to any paraministry or ministry or organization. They can get what they want. It is because this law was enclosed and nobody opened it and nobody bring anything about it. Even people that are even in Attorney General that want to come and give the lecture on this book, which the awareness supposed to also coming from there. Because of lack of information and all those things, because of implementations, everything died down. But we thank God, God have given us the NGO the power to come out with a magnitude project like this. And we are also seeking for the support from the government himself, from the state governors, local government shamans, and otherwise.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I really appreciate your effort. Because of time factor, Akubo, is there anything that you need the public to know concerning the national workshop you intend to hold this September?
Yes, the national workshop is going to form a baseline data and pool of knowledge base for this law. The citizens should now know, happily know, that yes, they can easily have access to information about their resources. He mentioned NNPC. What is the amount of barrels of crude oil that are lifted? How much revenue do we generate from our markets and sources of internally generated revenue, and so on and so forth? And what I want the public to know is that experts are coming from various sectors of the public economy to speak about the various segments of this law: the economic circle, the political circle, the science and technology circle, the internal security circle, the police and intelligence circle. You know, the heads and leaders of these sectors of the public sector economy are all coming to speak on the rights they have and the limitations they also have as per access to public records and information. And it is really gladdening to note that from now henceforth, after this workshop, which is going to be cascaded to, you know, the various states of the Federation, it is happening right here on Katakpe Hills in Abuja, this very nucleus or center of Abuja. So we are happy that your media station is among the first media organ, a very veritable and potent media organ, to help us do a massive transmission like you are doing right now you know, to our various homogeneous or heterogeneous audiences across the world.
Yeah.
And then we also want them to know that by the grace of God, we're expecting that His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, His Excellency Ezemo Nyesom Wike, will also be, you know, at this program as we are seeking for his support.
Okay.
You know, and then the area councils of Abuja too, the chairman of area councils of the Federal Capital Territory are also supposed to be here, because this program is starting from the center of Abuja,
okay,
and it to be cascaded to the geopolitical zones and the 36 states of the Federation. So it's going to be not just a jamboree, of course. It promises to be a beehive of activities where matters of probity, accountability, transparency, open access, open assets, open services of government,
okay,
digital public administration are going to be discussed.
Yes. Okay, that's about the size of this program, Political Viewpoint. I really want to appreciate you. Engineer Bala Musa, National Chairman, Rebirth for Media Liberation and Development Initiative, for finding time to be with us.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
It's my pleasure, sir.
I appreciate
It's a great pleasure, you know, having us on your program.
Thank you
so much.
That's about the size of the program, Political Viewpoint. My name again is Topsy Gimba. See you and bye-bye.
Wow. You did well.